Ooh. Welcome back, boys, to another episode of Breaking on a Budget. Today's episode will be covering a budget branded Despia deck. So, first, this deck will net you about 390 Ultra shards. Try to go for about 300, but it's extra deck's pretty expensive, but you need all this stuff in the extra deck. So the first card we'll be looking at is Despia Tragedy. This card, if I can click on it, there we go. It's just one of your simple, cards that The theme of this deck is you send a monster away via card effect, and that card that got sent has an effect. So, for example, Despia Tragedy, if it's sent to the graveyard or is banished by an effect, you can add one Despia monster from your deck to your hand, except this card, and then you can banish this card from your graveyard, then get a spell in your graveyard and send it to the field. So it's just really good all around. It's a good card. Next up is the Light Hex Sealed Fusion. I put this in this deck for your fusion monsters that require a light target. Just simple card. And Ed change added in here just to another dart target for our fusions, but also to work with the fur for patchwork and the polymerization searches. So that's pretty simple as well. Next up is Fallen of Albaz. Solid 3-pick. People like to run this card at 2. I like to run it at 3. Because it is useful for multiple different stuff. So you can fusion summon off of it. You can get more fusions out down here in the extra deck. Its special effect allows you to just fusion to fusion summon one monster from your extra deck using monsters on the field as fusion, including this card. But you can't use other monsters you control as fusion material. So it has to be a card that mentions Fallen of Albaz. Next up, Albert the Jester of Despia. I think I said that right. It's just card's normal special summon, which is really easy to do in the deck. You can add one branded spell card. Typically, that will be your branded fusion. Or sometimes maybe branded in red too. It just depends what you need. 9 times out of 10, it's always going to be branded fusion though. And then let's see what else. It's basically also if one of your other fusion cards gets nuked, you can just send this monster back up in the field, and since it's special summoned, you can do its effect again. So it's a really good card to have at 3. Next up, Spirit's Kit. I just run it at a 1-off, just to kind of get your branded spells back in your hand. You don't have to really run Spirit's Kit, but because this is the cheaper version, I just decided to throw it in to help fill the slots. Next up is Albion, the Sharded Dragon. It's basically another Fallen of Albaz. You can use its effects, but most of the time I just use it for a free Fallen of Albaz if it's on the field. Next up is this card right here, the Librium of Despia. You never summon this card at all. It's just for fusion fodder from your hand, honestly. And you actually wanted to use it for its fusion because it has an effect where if it's used for fusion material, you can target one Despia monster of level 8 or higher that is banished and special summon it. So, you can run it at multiple copies, but honestly, it's probably better to run it at 1, especially when you run the more expensive version. So because you want to fit in your other cards like your Murkrows and stuff like that. Next up is your polymerizations. I don't even have to explain that. Next up is Elder Darkness. Just banish banish a monster from your hand. Draw 2 cards. So I do believe you can banish Despia Tragedy, and this in Lower Darkness affects it. I think it might. But we'll have to do some playtesting and find out. Frightful Patchwork, like I mentioned earlier, just helps search out a polymerization and a dark target for your fusions. Brennan Fusion. It just allows you to use stuff from your Hensor's deck as fusion materials. You just can't special summon monsters except for fusions. So it's just a really solid card. It's like your standard, like your fusion card, like your Red Eyes and stuff like that. Despia, Theater of the Branded. I like to run this card at 3, because I feel like, because A, it's a free summon for level 8, and if a fusion monster does leave the field, I can special summon it back, or at least one of them back, I think. Yeah, I can target one back to put it back on the field at the end. Not at the end of the turn, but whenever I'm allowed to with the effect, or I want to. Branded Lost, another good card. The effects of this card, it's basically fusion monsters can't be negated. The activation of your cards and effects that include an effect that fusion summon monsters cannot be negated. Also, your opponent cannot activate effects when your monster is fusion summoned this way. If you fusion summon one monster, you can search an Albaz or a monster that mentions it from your deck to your hand. There's just another solid card. Though you just want to run this at 1, so you can fit in all your other spells and stuff that you need. But it's a solid card by itself, though, for sure. Next up, Branded Opening. It's just a discard 1, take 1 Despia monster. You can special summon it into defense position. So, and then for the rest of the turn, you can special summon except for fusion monsters. And if a fusion monster you control would be destroyed, you can banish this card from your graveyard instead. So you want to do it on your Jester. You want to Branded Opening. You want to use Brendan's opening effect to special summon Jester, just so you can kind of not eat up your normal summon if you don't need to. And then last card for the main deck is Branded in Red. Branded in Red, you can target 1 Despia monster or Fallen of Albaz in your graveyard, add it to your hand. And then you can fusion summon 1 level 8 or higher monster from your extra deck by banishing materials from your hand or field, but it cannot attack directly this turn. Simple, just another way of fusion summoning monsters. Next up is Mook Dragon of the Swamp. I actually don't know why this card's even in here. I guess I got confused, or I added this card in here for a reason. Your opponent cannot target this card or monsters on the field with the same attribute as this card. With card effects, once per turn, quick effect, you can declare 1 attribute. This card becomes that attribute at the end of the turn. Honestly, I don't know why I put this card in here. But, a lot of those cards in here too, I mean, same attribute. I guess you could declare this as a dark type. I think that's why I actually added in here. You can declare this as a dark type or light type monster. And then just help fusion something if you really are desperate for fusions. Predator Plant, it's just super easy to summon out. You can target 1 face-up monster your opponent controls and place a Predator Plant counter. And then the higher, and then if it's level 2 or higher, it becomes level 1 as long as a counter. And get the activate effects that have Predator Plant counters. It's just a good way of stopping certain cards from doing certain things. The Glory Dragon here. I just have this card in here for fusion summoning stuff, so I can maybe combo into my Mirror Jades and stuff like that. But it's just I just needed to fill up the extra deck at this point. So it also helps too. I can special summon Albez from my deck, and then at the end of the turn, get that card sent to the graveyard. Then I can do all the shenanigans that work with it. Albion the Branded Dragon. Ooh, when this card is fusion summoned, you can take one fusion monster that's level 8 or lower, and from your extra deck, another way of just summoning from the extra deck. I like decks like these. You can just merely shit out monster cards. And during the end phase, if this card's in your graveyard because it's set there this turn, you can add to your hand, or you can set one branded spell or trap card from your deck. Next up is Despia Coriolis. And you can just summon this monster to make everything on the board 0 attack. So it helps get rid of threats that you can't really take care of with maybe one of your... Okay, the next card is going to be Masquerade the Blazing Dragon. Masquerade the Blazing Dragon, one Despia monster or light or dark monster, simple. And when you control this fusion summon card, your opponent must pay 600 life points to activate cards or effects. If the opponent controls a ritual, fusion, synchro, XYZ, or link monster, well, this card is in your graveyard. Quick effect, you can special summon this card but banish it when it leaves the field. You can only use this effect once per turn. So a solid burn card, so you can easily be able to summon out 2 of these really easily. And this will allow you then to basically, burn your targets down to really low numbers of life points, or even beat them. Mirror Jade the Ice Blade Dragon. Fallen of Albez +1 extra deck monster. You can only control one Mirror Blade Dragon once per turn. Quick effect. You can send one fusion monster from your extra deck to the graveyard that mentions Fallen of Albez as material. Banish one monster on the field. Also, this card cannot use its effects this next turn. If this card is fusion summoned in its owner control... Oh, if this fusion summoned card in its owner's control leaves the field because of an opponent's card, you can destroy all other monsters you control during the end phase of this turn. I don't know why my brain turned off. Reading is hard. Next up is Lumion the Searing Dragon. If this card is fusion summoned, you can discard one card, fusion summon one level 8 or lower fusion monster from your deck, except the Searing Dragon, by shuffling fusion materials into the deck from your monster on the field or graveyard, or face up banished cards.
I am going to go pick up my son.
For the rest of the turn, this card cannot attack. Also, your opponent cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck except this monster.
I'm assuming you heard me.
Yes, I did.
Thank you.
Our last card is Despia Pro Skeleton. Sure, one. He's Pro Skeleton. A skeleton that's a pro at everything. One Despia monster +1 light +1 dark monster. During the main phase, you can target one extra deck monster in your opponent's graveyard, banish it, or special summon it to your field. Well, this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle. You can inflict battle damage to your opponent equal to the original attack and defense, or whichever is higher, of that specific card. So let's say Mystical Elf, for example, with having 2,000 defense. If this card swings into it, your opponent will just take 2,000 damage. So it's pretty good. So I will put these videos away, and I shall get us into like 2 games of testing. I guess showing off the deck, I should say. Alright, we got into a game right away with this boy over here. I'm going first. Okay, it's very easy with this deck to overextend, and I don't know what overextending means with this deck, because I like using effects when I can see them. Let's see here. Um, you guys normal special summon, you can add one burner trap. A normal summon him, activate his effect. Add a Brand Infusion. Activate Brand Infusion. I'll get out a Masquerade. Select. Select. I'll activate both of these effects. I'll discard. Sure, I'll discard that card. I'll special summon. Place up defense position. Then activate this card. Then activate this card's effect. I need two. Emoji summon that card face down and I'll just end my turn. Yeah, my brain's a little slow when coming with new decks. I'm familiar with this deck, but like a lot of text is involved and like making sure I don't like yeet a fusion monster off the field when I don't want to. Is this dude just a start? Oh, I didn't notice that. Yeah, I'm in casual mode, by the way. So, you know, I do kind of feel bad. I'll activate my Lure of Darkness. Activate this card. Search out a branded. Branded in red. Special summon this monster to the field. I'll special summon a. Let's see here. A light or dark monster. Okay, I'll be on the branded drake and. No, I'm afraid I'm gonna eat monster effects. Is this dude a Karibo deck? Okay, I was making sure. I'm sitting on a branded fusion. There's probably another Karibo. If he's running Karibo, that's very weird. The only thing in Monster Reborn's really. I guess one of my creatures, but I don't have anything strong. Yeah, I only have one card in my graveyard to banish for him to summon. He only uses his wing Karibo. He's already sending my creature for. What's he planning? I'm very curious. Exodia? Very curious about this deck. Eddie's running. No cards that stop activating stuff from hand. All normal summon Ash Blossom. Sorry, not normal summon Ash Blossom. Whoops. Okay. Despia Tragedy. Add this to my hand. And then we'll just end the turn. I got my little rabbit here. Hello, Miss Rabbit. Hello. Look at the chat, like, say hi to the video. Say hi. What does this bird do? Oh, he fell over. No, not the bird. Elemental Hero. Oh, an Elemental Hero deck. Interesting. You know, now that's about it, I should have expected something from the background being Lily Skyscrapers. Hmm. No, what's he gonna summon out of his deck? His Elemental Heroes only have like 80 fusion monsters. You know, so I wonder which one he's gonna pick. Mist, and I didn't see the other one. What do you do? For each water monster in the field. This card leaves the field. Destroy other monsters you control. Oh, is he gonna swing? Makes sense if he swings into me then. What does this do? There's a card to special summon you can add one if okay, so this is an element of hero search, gotcha. Okay. Dasher. DPE? Wait, why would he discard DPE? Sorry, not DPE, Dasher. Huh. Yeah, he would have to crash. I'm fine with this. I have ways of winning right now. I'm sitting on 2 polys, 2 dark monsters, plus my Despia theater, plus my draw. I think I win here. Actually, I don't think. I know I'm about to win here. You said one. I don't know. I think I'm gonna win anymore, boys. I don't know what that card is. I draw. I draw my 3rd polymerization. Okay. First of all, let's activate your stuff in the graveyard. Activate my branded fusion. Okay, what's he gonna do? What are you gonna do? What are you about to do, sir? Ash Blossom. Why'd it take him that long to use Ash Blossom? Kind of sucks. I mean, that sucks. I got Ash Blossom, but probably would have been ashed either way. Aha. Despia Corleris. Rifle Patchwork for diffusion for discarding costs. And I win. Alright, a bit scary right there, a bit scary. I guess maybe I should always try to bait out Ash Blossom with polymerization. Alright, anyway guys, thank you so much for enjoying the video. Sorry if I don't talk much during these. It's hard for me to think and talk at the exact same time. But yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.